Welcome back, grade 10s. Now let's continue with our third concept, which is the purpose of the public sector. To provide public goods and services such as water, electricity to meet the needs of its people. So basically the purpose of the public sector is to ensure that the needs of the community, the needs of the people are being taken care of. So basically their main aim also is including amongst others to provide water and electricity, because those are the basic needs of humans. Improve the general standard of living of all its citizens. So another purpose of the public sector is to ensure that it improves the general standard of living of its citizens. If we can just check, for instance, the government is the biggest employer in South Africa. He has employed many people because he has different sectors. So by doing so, he was trying by all means to ensure that the general standard of living of the people is being improved by making sure that he employs each and every person who qualifies for particular jobs. Provide various kinds of job opportunities. Like I've said before, the main aim or the purpose of the public sector is to ensure that citizens are being taken care of, the general standard of living is improved by providing different job opportunities for different skills of people, not only hire the highly skilled people, but also the semi-skilled, even those who do not have the skills at all. The public sector do have job opportunities for such individuals. Then we move on to the purpose of the private sector. To offer, it's not offers learner, it's offer a large variety of goods and services to meet the demands of consumers. So the private sector has to do with making sure that they meet the demands of consumers, unlike the public sector, which ensures that they offer services to deal with the needs of consumers. So the private sector ensures that it deals with whatever it is that we demand as consumers, not necessarily our basic needs. To provide job opportunities for all people who have different skills in all sectors and contribute to tax revenues. So another purpose of a private sector is to ensure that they provide job opportunities for all people with different skills, and ensuring that all those people that have been employed, they contribute in terms of paying tax, because these businesses, remember, they are registered to pay tax. Even the individuals who work under the private sector, they do contribute with paying tax. Then to provide businesses with opportunity to create wealth for growth. So the private sector is there again to also assist businesses in order for them to create wealth. That if you want to start your own business, register your own business, let your business be a privately owned entity, then you have an opportunity to do that in order to make sure that you create wealth for yourself and ensure that your business grows. So that is the purpose of the private sector. Now, let's move on to our fourth concept, which is the differences between public and private sectors. There's a note there. You need to remember that the differences between the public and private sectors need to be clearly stated. So the differences, we have to see the differences if we have stated them, that, okay, this is how the private sector differs from the public sector differs from the public sector. So the differences have to be clearly stated. Do not state the similarities, but the differences, what makes them different from each other. So the public sector is part of the economy where goods and services of public interest are provided by the government. In the private sector, these businesses are privately owned and provide goods and services with the aim of making a profit. So obviously, yes, the public sector, not to say it's just a charity. They are part of the economy, but their main aim is to ensure that the goods and services that are provided are in the interest of the people and provided by the government. Why do we have the public sector? To ensure that the prices are kept at a minimum level, so that the private sector cannot exploit consumers by charging higher prices. If only they did not have a competition, those private sector businesses, obviously they were going to charge exorbitant prices. But because there's a government who is trying by all means to ensure ensure that the prices are kept at competitive level. So here's a business also offering services to the people that are also sometimes offered by the private sector, but the government is trying to make sure that the prices are kept at a reasonable price. Then we move on to the private sector. These are businesses that are privately owned. So since it's not the government who owns these businesses, the owners of these businesses, their main aim is to make a profit. On the other hand, the government's main aim is to make sure that it satisfies the needs of the people, keeping the prices reasonable and making sure that whatever profit that the government makes in the public sector businesses, that profit is being taken to fund other state entities in order to make sure that the country is running at its best. Another difference is that the public sector provide public goods and services such as water and electricity to meet the needs. Here's a key: the needs of its people, while the private sector offer a large variety of goods and services to meet the demands of consumers. So the government is looking at the needs of people, making sure that he provides services that are going to ensure that they meet the needs of the people, while the private sector has to offer services that deals with the demand. So can you imagine if the government was not offering that water and electricity, if it was only offered by private businesses? Obviously, the prices that they were going to charge were going to be exorbitant prices that people would not even afford. But because there's a government, there's public sector businesses, the prices are kept reasonable. So each and every person's standard of living is being improved because each and every person is able to participate in the economy of the country through the businesses that are being offered by the government. Then the public sector, they are tasked with improving the general standard of living of all citizens, while the private sector, these companies also give back to the people by uplifting the community through corporate social responsibility programs. So obviously with the government having businesses that are controlled and managed by him, the main aim was to ensure that the general standard of living of all the people is being improved because he also offers job opportunities. As I've said, that he is the biggest employer that we have. So by so doing, each and every person participates in the economy of the country and the general standard of living of the people is being improved. While the private sector, yes, they do uplift communities through their corporate social responsibility programs, even if they do participate in those programs. But we must not run away from the fact that they are not doing a lot as the government is doing, taking care of its citizens. I hope and wish that today's lesson was fruitful, and I hope to see you next time. Then you need to also remember that what you learned today does not nullify yesterday, but it does make tomorrow better. Goodbye.